Okay. Good morning, Critter the Shorts. Good
Good
morning,
morning.
Maestro. Good morning, TC. Okay, so couple little points of order. Oh, I got the YouTube thing popping up. It's yelling at me now. Sorry about that. um, yeah. So the memes thing. I got the voting thing to our team this morning. So everybody's voting through that. We're gonna have our top three, and we'll be able to announce the winners tomorrow. I would imagine. Crypto
Yes.
shorts. I think it was actually Crypto Night that wanted to vote. But yeah, if you see this, if you were one of the ones that wanted to vote, DM me on Telegram, and we'll get you hooked up to do that. And of course, today we got AIGOD Dennis. The maybe he's an AI. We don't know. He's not. He's not. But you can't prove it. I'm stoked for again like this having you on. I feel like I'm a huge fan of everything that's going on with AI God, and I feel like I literally have no fucking clue. I feel completely behind, and so it's really really cool that you had time to come in and give us an update so that we can actually get caught up on all the crazy shit that's been going on. Because I know like there's a bunch of new stuff with the NFTs you have going on, and the resources, and the Discord is new. In fact, I'm going to go grab the invite link for the Discord. So people are probably going to need that. Anyway, good morning. How are you doing? What's going on?
Oh, great. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a real good opportunity to say hello again.
Right.
But at first, the last 2 weeks or so, I was a little bit more absent from the social channels again, but that's quite normal for me, to be honest. Sometimes that so much was going on, and I think it's a good opportunity to just say, everything is still going, and I'm catching back up.
Awesome.
That's for the first.
Awesome sauce. All right, guys, in the comments, if you're not in the Singularity Discord yet, there's the link right there. Juan, how are you doing this morning?
Good. Doing good. Testing the Tapper app and good in general. Sad because of the crypto crashing all over. But as TC said, when the pain is at the max level, the bull market will start. So I'm trying to feel the pain as intensely as possible so that this bull market gets started.
I've never thought about it that way, and I'm definitely going to join you in that boat. We should just cry online for 3 days straight.
Yes.
Just like get really into our feelings. Like, God damn it, why can't things just pick up? Fucking sad. Just do that every day until it comes back. That's funny.
It's a really strange one. I also hear the people also talk all the time about, we had the first phase of the bull market, and now we maybe enter the second, and I'm always asking, okay, where was the first one? If some kind of segments maybe, but mostly Bitcoin, and that's not that representative anymore in my view, because even my accountant, who formerly thought Bitcoin was from hell, now suggests, it's a good way to diversify, and so on and so on. So I think that that is mainstream now. so we have to wait for the AIGOD bull run, and I think it's kind of decoupled at the moment. And
it seems that way. I always thought it would be such an amazing hedge, being deflationary the way that it is. But it seems like it's just been riding, really correlative with the rest of the markets in a way that if you'd asked me 5 years ago, I would have thought it would have been the opposite, and I would have been wrong. So I don't think you should do this one, but TC does suggest that to achieve max pain early and often, you should just pound yourself in the broken arm.
No.
Yeah, no, I don't like that idea.
I will skip that one.
I'm just going to imagine you doing it, and I'll cry over that, because that gives me the sads. Yeah, I mean that's the I sent some stuff to Juan overnight. I still I still think that at least on the Bitcoin thing, it's going to be next year. And again, the universe could prove me wrong by tomorrow. We'll find out. Because how many times have we seen it? Like it could drop to 30,000 in the next 3 days, but then be at 80,000 in 2 weeks, right? We just don't know. Like it all of that stuff has happened before.
Also,
and it'll happen again.
If you check historically how Bitcoin performs, you will see that October, November, December are the months where typically Bitcoin goes up.
Yep, it's true.
So I don't know. Doesn't mean that history has to repeat itself, as we were discussing a couple of days ago. So in the end, nobody knows.
We'll find out.
Nobody knows. And
we just gotta keep doing the do. Last September has only ever had 4 positive Septembers out of what? Like it's 13 years old, 14 years old now. Whatever it is.
I was just checking that today. There was an article. I think it was that Coin Market Cap? I don't remember where I saw that. With the different months and when it was positive, when was it negative?
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not this one. What was it?
TC, this is always good advice. It's a long play. Buy, forget about it for a few years. I guess like the reason why it's difficult for us to do that is that we're spending a lot of time. I mean, all of my time I'm spending trying to build this stuff. I'm making $0. All the shows, all the stuff in the background, all the everything. I make literally nothing, right? So for me, it's if we don't time the markets or diversify into markets that are doing well, I'll never make anything because I'm not actively trading. I didn't do that good when I was doing it anyway. But for anybody watching this that is wondering about trading, TC is completely correct. Like I've never seen anyone that was unhappy that bought Bitcoin, waited for 2 cycles, and then looked at it and then felt bad, right? Like that's like it's just like and you're gonna do much better than if you had it in the Dow. You'll do much better than you had in the SP 500, usually, right? Although the last run has been pretty epic in the normal markets. That's always good advice, but we've been kind of speculating about it recently, just because we're trying to time as a startup, what do we have to plan for, right? Like what is the maximum turnaround for how long we should expect this to take? Should we move in different directions in the interim, that kind of thing? So it doesn't matter for everybody else, but it's something that we have to think about.
Yeah, I think exactly that's the difference when you leave from crypto. Then it matters, and you're like, oh fuck, again we have to wait. We still have to wait. Come on.
You brought up a great point yesterday, and we've been trying to do this. I just want the bull market to come so that I can it'll be fun again. I'm pining. I'm just experiencing my emotions, TC. I'm going to max pain. But you brought up yesterday. I think it's a really good point for us to remember. We want to build viable businesses in crypto that can actually thrive during the bear or sideways years or whatever. Like that's the challenge, and it's not a small challenge, but neither is it insurmountable, right? Like it's people have figured it out, so we just got to keep working at it. 26 years.
All right. McDonald's for that.
Building a startup. And not a speculative asset. It can be, but
right. Yes.
There always needs to be some basis.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so Dennis, what's been going on in the world of AIGOD in the last couple months? I'm building along. Essentially, maybe a few too many possibilities, so to say. I was looking in all kinds of stuff. Be it we could build a real game out of it, and so on. But in the end, I figured out even if you use the newest tools, it's still a monumental task to do, especially as one person. But it's always about the time horizon. So if I have 2 years or so, it's still manageable. Just not tomorrow. So we will see.
And yeah, AI like now is the worst that will ever be. So I'm also optimistic about that.
Yeah, I've been thinking about this a lot. Actually, I've been doing a lot of research on Cursor AI, which you combine it with Claude, and it becomes a pretty good sort of organizational thing. 'Cause the AI actually knows all the function trees and where all your folders are and that kind of thing, right? So like it's got that. Tuttle and I have actually been thinking about building something like it, and thankfully somebody's actually doing it, and it just seems like it's getting to the point where, again, like if you're an expert coder, and I've seen this actually the one now a bunch of different places, the expert coders are like, this doesn't help me, which I get more and more all the time. But for somebody like me who literally has no idea, it's like I go from 0 to 1, right, out of 10, but still like 1 is not 0. But it really does do that. And then sort of like the experience that I'm having with you copy paste, you do the error correction, you do all this shit or whatever, and then you're dealing with the context window because sometimes it gets too big for the context window, so we start diversifying into different folders or whatever, just piece it out so that it can handle the context window. Context window is going to be 1 million tokens before too long, which is bonkers. Like that's just like have 10 novels worth of code in one context window, and it's going to be able to handle that, which blows my mind. But then you have all the new folders and stuff on Cursor. It's really, really interesting stuff. The thing I saw this morning is they're open sourcing it now, and what the team that they're not open sourcing that. There's like an open source version, and the team that's making the open source version said that it's called Melty. Melty is now writing half of its own code, right? So like it's developing itself to help everybody else develop. So like it gets to that point where now I don't know if it's a year from now, 2 years from now, probably 2, right? But somebody like you, Dennis, you're like, hey, I want to get an open source game and plug all of my crypto shit into this open source game. It's not that long before your AI agent just goes to work on it, and a week later it's done.
Yeah, definitely, and that's also the case. Many people are talking about AI winter at the moment, and I'm really not sure what people are talking about.
Me neither. I'm not seeing that
rate
either.
of progress, and from my side, when it comes to clients, for example, sometimes people tell me, there's always the next milestone, and explain to me what it cannot at the moment, which is really funny, because if it's 80% of a person at the moment, and that's good enough, why not? And that still means you can scale infinitely, basically, with what you're doing, even if it's slightly less inefficient when it comes to lead generation, customer support, or whatever, when it comes to this kind of mundane topics. But also with coding itself, I think. If I think about what you not have to do, and how this would have looked 5 years ago, that's just mind-blowing.
Yeah, I if you'd have said we would be at this point 5 years ago, I'd be like, maybe. And now Juan gives me shit all the time because I'm like, I think it's going to be sentient in 3 years. It's probably not going to be sentient in 3 years, but maybe 4. Probably not.
Yeah,
but I don't know. It's getting really nuts. And like that's the model increase thing too. I've been trying to dig into what's making these models able to reason as a function of the actual large language model itself. So it's not like running through code and asking questions and doing math or whatever. There's just so much embedded reasoning in the language model itself that it's kind of able to figure stuff out and do sort of stepped reasoning, even through the sort of neural net, which just fucking fascinates the shit out of me. And that's like the argument, right? Like that, can you create enough synthetic data, which basically, I think just means at this point creating good outcomes and then feeding that back into the system to reinforce them, that kind of thing, right? But can you 10x the size of a model right now, and 10x its capability the way that we saw from 2 to 3.5, and even 3.5 to 4 probably didn't 10x it, but significantly increase it, right? Like what's is there a point where we start seeing diminishing returns on that? And so far in the industry, the idea is that it definitely it could happen, but they're not seeing it at all, right? Like every single bigger model they see is having that step function and increased effectiveness, which is nuts. But then I look at it like the innovations going on in actual multi-call step reasoning, the stuff that we're doing in the hive minds, right off the bat, like a year ago, they're using that to train the new models for OpenAI now, right? Like they're using a system like that that's using the kind of things that the basic things that we've learned about large language models to help create the synthetic data that trains the next one, which is a whole other level of insanity that I think is going to extend the increase for a while. So yeah, it's worth, it's kind of like a decent high school student right now. It'll be a PhD pretty soon. It'll be the best in the world at literally everything in less than 10 years. I don't know what that world looks like. I really don't. But it's going to be weird. And when when you want to freaking make a game and plug it into AI and just have all that stuff work, like I can for real see you just talking to your AI agent overnight and have an MVP by morning.
Yeah, I think that's one of the first things that are really interesting. That we get another layer of abstraction, or another form not abstraction, because coding became easier and easier, and now we are on the brink of having some kind of language programming, but in the sense of we use usual language to do it, and that will be really fascinating, I think, just because all the people who are able to build what they want, basically, at some point.
I mean, it's a face change for people like us, right? Or me, anyway. You had a bunch of capabilities in the coding world that I definitely did not have. So Curtis writes, the new OpenAI search engine will pull live real references like Perplexity and learn from every search. Oh, I didn't know they were tapping into Perplexity. So for anybody that doesn't know, Perplexity is kind of it's designed to be sort of an AI enabled search. So like AI first, not sort of web scraping, that kind of thing, although it can do that, right? So it's real time still, like you can ask questions about stuff that happened yesterday, that kind of thing. But their whole thing is they want to just be able to answer real questions from the perspective of a higher end AI. So Perplexity is doing really good. So the whole idea that OpenAI is actually going to use things like Perplexity in its search, which makes sense because Perplexity is using the large language models and the sort of secondary models that were built off of OpenAI to do all their stuff. So so Perplexity is both real time reference and LLM. Yeah, it's just. It's gonna be interesting. One, remember, was it like 3 months ago we were talking about all this stuff, and it still sucked at math, right?
At math?
Or in other words, I think there was a divide. We have the models that are really good at math and can win the math Olympics, or at least do very well in it, and we have large language models that sometimes really struggle to explain how many letters are in one word, and it's this kind of funny divide, right? And we just need to join these models and put something like the NVIDIA sparring room
that's a really good point
into the mix. So it has a good understanding. Yeah.
There's this guy Chris Brock on Facebook that started an AI group that went nuclear, and he's in the process, and he's been like building servers and doing some machine learning stuff in the background, and kind of doing some like mechanical stuff in AI, which has been pretty cool to watch. But he's in the process of finishing a scientific paper on having the newest large language models create mathematical proofs that are novel and accurate. And he started to notice that they're doing it a lot, right? Like if you have them pound on these sort of intractable math proofs, they'll start to create stuff that works really well. And again, this is like they'll try something, doesn't work, but it peer reviews itself and then can do that 10,000 times, right? Which I think is like the kind of thing that I mean, never mind that Edison said, the whole reason why a light bulb didn't work was because it did work is because 9,999 times it didn't, and then the 10,000 time it did, right? So there's a bit of that, but now we can do that at scale with computers in a way that I don't even think we've really come to terms with it yet, right? So like it's the math situation, and again, you can still like strawberry, you go in OpenAI and ask how many R's are in strawberry, and half the time it's going to get it wrong, right? So like there's still some really, really interesting areas where it's clearly not doing it. But I mean, wait another 3 months, and those are just going to be gone, right? It's going to be very difficult to get it to do something wrong in the very near future, which is going to be kind
Yeah,
of
I
fun.
think even if we need some time to figure out new methods to do things. For example, we could still brute force our way if we take a ramp of 10 or 20 years to ASI, maybe even. So, and I think people often underestimate what this will mean because, HEI is nice, but if we have, for example, a full understanding of the body and how molecules work, etc., you can do a lot of with it. And yeah.
So my wife has started finally asking me about AI. She's a neuropharmacologist, and basically just she's used to seeing me get very, very excited about stuff, and her eyes just kind of glass over. But now, like at the VA, they're starting to talk about AI, so she's like asking me some sort of interesting questions, and it really comes down to she doesn't think that it would. And I think the most people that I've talked to, they're sort of in professional information jobs or work, think it definitely couldn't do what they could do, right? Only like I keep trying to explain to her, like given a basic RAG, retrieval augmented generation, so like a memory system that's up to date, because like in the pharmaceutical sort of clinical thing, things change day to day or whatever, right? They can change it day to day. Right now, general practitioners, the basic AIs we had a year ago were already better than 85% of them. Right.
Yeah,
and that's probably much better now. Never mind that, like, they're passing the bar and they're doing all this crazy shit. Like it's not going to be very long before even maybe not, because like there's a little bit about what she's doing now but like the job she just had was basically taking giant information sets that were mostly in her head. She's way smarter than me, obviously. But making sure that in any particular set of data, right, you can apply the correct solution, which is basically just having a functional database in your head. And there's just no reason why a decent AI right now shouldn't be able to do it, but in a year, definitely, right? Especially when they start training models on all the correspondence that they've ever had, which they're gonna do.
Yeah, definitely, and especially with upcoming models like AlphaFold 3, for example.
Right.
Yeah, that will be really interesting. I think we might be able, to crack aging very well in our lifetimes. So, the lifetime will not be that significant anymore. That would be really cool.
Yeah, I meant to tell her about that, and I hadn't seen it. So anybody that doesn't know AlphaFold, I think we've talked about this a couple of times because it frankly still freaks me out. There's a SETI like program where you could get on this thing and you could basically play a game as a human, trying to fold proteins, and you had enough people doing this that they figured out I think like a dozen or 30 proteins over the space of like 10 or 15 years, right? It's very hard. There's a lot. It's very complex, and it's a whole thing. So AlphaFold found all of them, like literally every possible iteration. There's 5 million of them. Found literally every iteration of a folding protein. So now we know how all of the proteins that we are currently aware of can interact with each other, and what sort of shapes or forms they can take, which means what drugs are they going to interact with, what kind of tissue can they create, basically the building blocks of all the building blocks of all the building blocks of what makes life. These things have figured out how they move, right? So AlphaFold 3 is now going to start be able to put people in a position where they can actually use that, right? Which is just, it's that on its own, that one story that's going to be a throwaway story. We're all going to forget this by tomorrow. Biggest story of the last decade.
I think all of that is amazing, and I think that you tend to oversimplify all of this.
How so?
How so? Just like you said, for example, for your physician, for the doctor, for this thing with the proteins.
Yeah.
I think that you're not thinking about all the potential liability issues that exist if something like that goes wrong. who will be responsible for that? Who will be liable? And
Right.
who will be, the physician was treating a patient with a X disease, and AI came up with the solution. Patient dies. Who's liable?
Oh, the doctor. If a doctor is using AI,
Yeah, I fully
Right.
agree that, but that's what I
Right.
say. You oversimplify it and you say a doctor, the AI is 10,000 smarter than the doctor. Maybe it's faster to come up with something that, but the doctor's opinion, the doctor's experience, the doctor's everything will keep on being extremely important,
for a
because
while.
ultimately he's the one who's liable, and
Right.
he's the one who's responsible for
I-
what he's doing.
I
He
think that's a
cannot
good
really
point.
delegate to AI everything. And there is what I tell you: AI is a tool, and that's it.
Right now, right? And 6 months ago, it couldn't do math. So, give it time.
Yeah, I agree. He's already liable and so on. But right now, they are very careful with what they do, at least the good
And
ones,
they should be.
because yeah, the bad ones, maybe they are very let's go with this,
And
and
there's
you
too
don't
many of
know.
those, especially
Yeah.
here, right? Where it's like the waiting rooms in the United States are based on just a production mill, because they want to get through people as quickly as humanly possible. Like that, like
I
you
think
know,
that there's an excellent example there, because people try to make medicine more like a production, like an industrial thing, and
yeah,
they started with a video appointments with your doctor and so on,
yeah.
and everybody said, "Oh, this is going to be the next big thing," and you don't really see it that much, because
Oh,
I think that
we do.
Here, I think it's even forbidden now, because there was a lot of abuse of people, not even lots of doctors reporting the calls and not really having the patient or whatever. So it
Oh
was
wow,
really a good way
yeah.
of
It's huge
making
here.
money, and especially maybe you don't have that problem in the US, or maybe you have it because you have the insurance that has to pay and authorize. Here is Social Security that has to do that, but
Right.
people were like, yeah, just going with that, and it hasn't worked very well. And if you ask me, Juan, do you want a virtual appointment with the doctor? I will say, fuck no.
Oh man, I said yes instantaneously. It's way better.
No, I would never
Oh
do
yeah,
that.
no, I definitely do that.
For me, the human interaction is essential.
Yeah,
Having someone who's not really looking at me, who's not really getting the signals, who's not really looking at the real color of my skin because of the cameras and so on, who's not really aware of what's going on the other side, and it's
yeah.
going to treat me just like that. No, not for me.
No,
I
and
go
this is
with
good.
someone real life, and I
Yeah,
want a real opinion.
I think the underlying point that I think you're completely accurate about is like we're recognizing. I think both Dennis and I recognize what's possible right now and what's going to be possible in a year.
Yeah.
Now, what's possible and what actually goes out into the marketplace are two very, very different things, right?
Yes.
Because that liability thing is deeply accurate, right? So it's going to be, they might use AI as sort of a backstop to check themselves, or they might do whatever. But ultimately,
the
if they're
other thing
liable
is-
for it, they have to keep responsibility for it. So they're still going to be in the loop.
Yeah, and the other thing is what impresses you as someone who does not know enough about a certain topic. If you're not an expert, for example, in protein, so of course we are super impressed. Maybe we have an expert and he says, "Oh yeah, that's it, but it's not as
So all
amazing as you think
humans,
because blah blah blah."
all
Because,
humans.
but we cannot say that because we don't know.
Here's a real piece of data. Maybe I'm over exemplifying this ridiculously massive piece of data. All humans, doctors,
Yeah.
mathematicians, physicists, hyper nerds, everybody in the field, they were folding proteins many, many hours a day each, like hundreds of thousands of human hours, and they did 10, maybe 20. AI did 5 million in like 3 months, right? So like
Yeah.
there's like I mean, this is the thing. I see people
I'm not
underestimating
saying,
AI every
Corey,
day,
I'm not
and I
saying
want to
different.
help them.
And no, I'm not saying different than what you say. What I'm saying is that, okay, now you have that shitload of proteins. Is
Yeah.
that useful? maybe not as useful as you think, because it's too many for what
Right. No,
what the
I'm not, at
correct
no point.
capacity of doctors
Yeah.
is there. I
Yeah.
don't know, or
No, I
scientists.
I didn't say at any point like that was like cancer solved tomorrow. I didn't say that, right?
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is something that was going to take humans like 100,000 years took AI 3 months, right? So now we
I
can
fully
move on
agree.
to whole different levels of challenges. Like it's possible for us to actually cure cancer full stop now in a way that it wasn't 4 months ago. Right now, if there's tons of work left, I'm not saying that there isn't lots of work to do, right? But I'm
Yeah,
saying like when
I
people start to
think that
understand the
last
power of that.
statement there, I think it's very theoretical and not scientifically
Oh, you should
verified.
okay, you should learn more about how proteins folding literally do everything in life. So if we understand that, we can understand, yeah, just I feel very
Yeah,
confident in defending that statement to
but
the ends of time.
what I think is that theoretically you should be able to solve it because you have the information. Practically, I don't know if what you are saying is really feasible in real life.
I mean, it's just physics, right? So like if you have a mechanical system, which is all that this is, and you now understand in a way you never did before how the underlying pieces work, right? Like again, it's deterministic. Cancer isn't magic, right? So like if we understand how all the pieces work and we can now iterate using the same kinds of AI, how each one of them folds and interacts and talks to each other with everything else that they know about cancer, which is not nothing, right?
Yes, and I'm not saying that's not true. I think what you say is completely true until the point that you said that we can now do something different. No, we can now not do something different. We can now start testing, start applying for a new medicine to be tested on a small group of patients. Then we can start doing that. But we cannot cure cancer better than 4 months ago. We can speed up the process. We can now start with something that was not thought 4 months ago, but we cannot categorically say that we can now cure cancers in a way we could not be. Well, maybe 4 months ago, maybe it's possible, but not
what
because
I
of
what I said was we can now cure cancer in a way that we couldn't think of doing 4 months ago. I didn't say there's no trials. Of course there's trials. I didn't say it wasn't going to take time. Of course it's going to take time, right? But we just said the same thing, and you knee jerk like AI sucks. We're going to argue with Corey. Dennis, how do you feel about all this stuff?
For me, it's think of implementation.
Yeah.
For example, when we talk about the testing, one big innovation that came actually before was that much of this kind of testing is now done in a robotic way, and can solve far more tests than a human person could do alone. So we have always this kind of AI and robotics component when it comes to the physical world, I would say. And personally, what I think is really interesting that we have this kind of simulation challenge. And if, for example, AlphaFold would be able to simulate all interactions in the body when it comes to molecules, I think that would be a great step, because it would mean that you have to test far less stuff because you would know in advance how things work.
I think that part is amazing, because you might be able to discard a lot of trial. You immediately say, okay, no, this is not even worth pursuing as an experiment, or because it doesn't make sense. It will fail, and that's good because you speed up things. But it's not like magically you will have the solution tomorrow. But it will speed up things in great ways.
Again, at no point did I say magically you would have the result tomorrow.
Yeah, it's always a step-by-step process, but I think it's non-linear, and that's the really interesting stuff in my view. Not particularly where we will be in 1 year, but where we will be in 10 years, and that's so exciting to me.
Yeah, that's I completely agree. Like every step of the process where like a scientist goes from, or researcher goes from, we're here on any topic. I don't care if it's physics or fucking better seatbelts or cancer or whatever, it doesn't matter. Obviously there's more liability with cancer. So just, I'm not saying we're skipping any steps, Juan. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no.
Every single one of those steps, AI has the possibility of making that part of it, the testing, the iterating, the liability research, the whole 9 yards, that much quicker, right? So when I say that we can solve it in a way that we couldn't 4 months ago, that's what I'm talking about. Not that we can skip steps, just like every single one of those steps is going to be accelerated in a way that it just wasn't 4 months ago.
Yeah.
All right, good talk. So, yes, I did want to talk about
AIGOD. What's going on with AIGOD?
Yeah, right. What's going on with that token?
Yeah, it starts always the way. We drift a little bit into other topics.
But I should say, I want to get to all the new blends and stuff that you have going on. But yeah, this is Red Scorpion's brother, if I'm not mistaken. If you play Flip Tribes 9,999 times, you will eventually win 10,000. Just ask Bert. So Bert is actually the AI that you're playing against. Yeah. So that's why Bert is pretty high up on the leaderboard, because he's literally playing against all of us in the one mode there. So yeah, and again, like Flip Tribes is running. I talked to Tuttle yesterday. We should be able to start like an actual season where you have the capacity to earn some real rewards or lose real rewards. Starting on Friday. I'm going to confirm that today. And then we'll probably just do that on the show unless we get another guest or something for Friday. But yeah, so that the Flip Tribes thing is definitely, it's moving along. We get the low power mode now, Dennis. I don't know if you tried that out yet. But all the cards that we were making that just felt like they were completely useless. Well, they're definitely not now. The lower power ones have some real juice behind them. So anyway, so fill me in on like what should we look at as far as like some of the, because I was looking through the announcements. There's like tons of new stuff. Where could we look for people that might not have paid attention for the last couple of weeks and kind of want to plug back in and see kind of what they should do or what we need to be looking out for? Yeah,
definitely. I think we built quite some stuff under the hood, and then I had my 2 weeks break basically, and now I'm back. The status is we have, I don't know if you had the opportunity to look into it. We have by far not complete, but really comprehensive on the NFT side Gitbook now when it comes to the NFT stuff. And the first thing is, we have some harvesters now that are in the community. Basically, I think enough people have some, and so we will be able to start our missions. I will, as a little surprise, I will try to bring it online today, and you will basically be able to use your harvesters to harvest human junk and extract components and metals and other stuff out of it. That will be the backbone for some kind of a crafting economy. You have also the chance to break a harvester or to damage it and need to repair it, and some people will be able to repair harvesters with their hubs, and other players will basically need to stick to buying repaired harvesters. Minor repairs you can do yourself, and we have this kind of seasonal hauling missions that give you a chance to get sought after materials, but you can also craft them from the basic components you can harvest.
Okay.
That becomes interesting is that we also have our mining setup more or less done. I hope we can implement this next week. And the idea is to have only come into epic miners, and you need stuff from these kind of missions to basically upgrade to the higher tiers. So there's something for everyone, and you can join or you don't. And the idea is also to have it a really attractive season. Means whatever you pay for a miner, for example, you are supposed to get at least a little bit more back. So we don't have this kind of some waves win, everyone else lose thematic, because we have a good rewards pool, and we can extract a bit from it without being unsustainable. And I think everything should go back to the community,
I like it.
basically. And
So, sorry, finish that.
no, just ask. We have so much stuff there, so it's easier to have questions in between, I think.
So when you were saying that as far as repairing them per uses, sort of what, like, are those, like, can we do this stuff on Nifty Blocks right now? Is this some stuff where I can, like, share some links, or is this stuff that's coming?
It's basically elaborate use of Nifty mechanics. So it's nothing special in this sense. It basically works with different packs and with blends, which is really interesting way. I think when we look at it from the point that you can do a lot what usual games do with the Nifty Blocks mechanics alone, it's a little bit more cumbersome maybe when you compare it with a normal clicker game, for example. But you have also more possibilities to make the economy more interesting and to adjust things just for the first. And it's a good prototyping tool. So if we have figured out how things work really well, we can build some kind of nice backbone application at some point, and scale basically without the need to build a half year or so and then release something like we had in many former NFT games, and then people realize, I guess it needs more tuning. And we can do this now in some kind of a controlled way, and build very cool stuff. Maybe also with Vex and Solana, or let's see what happens. But this is the ideal testing bed, and we can iterate from there.
Yeah, I was just looking at some of the blends, and it's just clearly stuff is coming together. These ones that are locked, it basically requires the harvester. Which NFTs do people need to get access to, like the crafting rare materials one?
We have different things regarding that. I needed to be a little bit creative when it comes to having some kind of player connection. So it's not basically a big bot battle. People will always find ways, but just to not make it so obvious. So we have some kind of membership NFTs that are not transferable, and that are giving out in combination together with the Discord ID, and maybe Telegram ID also later. And we have these as some kind of key. So we have this kind of, I prove that I'm a human, and so I can start this mission. So it's some kind of a whitelisting process for different blends. And we also have, some blends you need a hub for example, or you need a construction yard for. And this allows us to be more creative, basically, and keep the community ideally more engaged, because the whole idea behind this is, of course, to reward community action and to reward being active, and have rewards for committing to AIGOD and holding assets and stuff, but also a lot for action. So you have two ways always. You can invest, or you can just interact. And ideally, these are no ways that are in competition to each other, but that you can combine or can use one strategy, one or the other. That's
Yeah, I like it. So I posted in the comments. You can kind of claim your badge for Discord. I saw that in your announcement. So claiming that that badge, is that kind of part of that process to get whitelisted for some of the drops or blends? I mean,
correct.
okay.
That's correct. I think I have a little backlog. I had so much stuff going on that I have not automated the process at the moment. So I might need to catch up a little bit. But,
All right. Well, I mean, and again,
that's
it's bear
MVP.
market. I think it's the best time to be, kind of iterating and building up this way. I think, right? I mean, that's the NFTs obviously look really cool. You got the token; they're already sort of starting to interact in meaningful ways. I hope I see the some use of the Nifty Blocks upgrade systems, because I've seen that work. Because I think we talked about this before, but could you do energy management? You probably could, right? So like you have like and I think Tyler and I were talking about this for the cards, right? Because like not for the first season, but probably season 2 and moving forward, the cards for flip drives will have basically like an energy, like you'll have 10 uses or what have you, right? Once those uses are gone, you'll be able to basically repair it or like re-energize them by blending with an NFT that you can buy for AIGOD or whatever. Right? We'll figure out that loop.
Not a blend, but an upgrade.
The upgrade, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, because I haven't really seen those work yet, and it just seems like such an underused and very cool tool, especially for something like this, Dennis, right? Like where it's like there's other teams that are trying to make big games. I actually saw a gaming studio close down because that's like really, really challenging, right? But we're in this situation where we have so many mechanisms available to us that are linked to DeFi and linked to NFTs and linked to the meme tokens and all that kind of stuff. And it just I enjoy watching you start to iterate through that, just because with all the uplift days, like I know how much you think about this stuff, and in terms of not just making it sort of an economic loop, but having community be part of that and be valued in that. It's exciting to see.
Yeah, I think it will be really interesting, and it is also a lot of fun because yes, you said it's really a process, and we have a little bit more time to figure it out, basically, before everything gets traction again. And I think, it's a good spot to be creative, to, sometimes maybe take 2 weeks longer, to have nice assets that, still are looking nice in, maybe 6 months, and also have some kind of still sustainable mechanics, so you can iterate on it and build it step by step. And
and a year from now, you'll have your one of your AI agents just making new features every few days.
Who knows? I would be more interested in some kind of maybe having it mixed with some kind of real cool card or strategy game or something like that. We will have to see how far the capabilities are then, but I think we could just always iterate and using the latest stuff, and it's a fun learning process.
And I think you're saying like it becomes kind of the crypto shirts. Is that an actual question? I'll get to that in a second. If you want to rephrase it, or just let me know that it is, and we'll figure it out. But yeah, like talking about this as the backbone to something else, I think is really interesting too, right? So you're sort of creating all these blends and resource mechanics and all that kind of stuff. I could totally see it turning into like suddenly you have those manufacturing hubs that were initially released or whatever are able to produce a bunch of different stuff that then produces robots that start attacking each other or whatever it is, right? Like as NFTs or whatever resources. And then of course they have energy usage and repair and mechanics and all that stuff can get plugged in, like with the backbone that's already existing. You sort of have a really sort of a rich environment already to start plugging stuff like that into. So CryptoShirt said, and I'm not sure, we'll figure it out. So is upgrades like crafting so you can blend and can also unblend? I'm not really sure what that means.
I'm not sure it's possible. I understand what he means because, for example, let's say you have an NFT that has 3 pieces. You blend 3 things and you get a result. On blend, he means this NFT that you got as a result. you can decompose it in its original ingredients. And um, I think we cannot do that at the moment. It's not that difficult, but
So
but there hasn't been really a use case for that for us at the moment.
right, like, I feel
Games
like
would
the
be.
sorry, go ahead,
Sorry?
Dennis.
Games would be. I
Yeah,
think
yeah. For
there
example,
could be a lot
the
of stuff.
the Betsy engine then can do exactly that, and can do even more than that. But every time we have tried to offer it to someone, they are not really willing to pay what it really costs to configure it and use it. So no, and we could do it like other platforms that keep on doing everything for free. But yeah, at some point we have to.
Yeah, Red, this is where I was going. You
Yeah,
just need to add a blend that outputs the opposite. So
yeah.
any
Basically, it's
project out
that.
there could just do it, right? That system already exists. The mechanics
Yeah.
already exist, so that if you wanted this NFT to turn into 3 NFTs, you just put another blend out and it does it.
Not really, because a blend can, with our system, a blend can only deliver one NFT as a result.
You could put it in a pack.
That is possible, yes.
Yeah.
But then what happens there is that just imagine that you have different kinds of combinations, and you wanted to receive what was in there, not every time the same thing. And if you put it in a pack, it's not exactly the same thing, doesn't respect numbers. So I think it's a little bit more
Right.
complex
No,
than that.
that's true.
But it can be done.
Interesting. Yeah, and I think it makes tons of sense to me for you guys to be focusing on what's actually economically like. And this makes sense to me. Like, if somebody wants to pay you guys significantly to add a feature because they need it for something specifically that's gonna make them money, then that's an interesting conversation. Till then, I mean, there's so many tools and so many different variables for people to explore that already exist, right? I don't think we've seen even the tip of the iceberg of what's possible just with the current tool set. So that's sort of that's a whole thing. More kitties.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Can we get PvP on Flip Tribe so I can beat my brother? Man, I would almost pay to watch those matches. Just for anybody that doesn't know, Red Scorpion and Sephiroth is his brother. They're obnoxiously good, and like, I've seen the cards they're using, and they definitely did the work to get some really, really high end cards, which again, like, anyone's allowed to do. You can go do it, but they're just asininely good at the game. It's like there's like an actual skill set involved that I'm still working on. But yeah, no, PvP mode is definitely on the drawing board for Flip Tribe. It's going to be a while from now. We got a bunch of stuff to iterate through and make sure the economics work before then. But it's definitely on the list. Not only PvP, there's been I kind of want a mode where if we're doing PvP, you might lose one of your cards to the other. You basically pay for pink slips. Which could be pretty fun. But anyway, all that stuff we'll start messing around with, and obviously we'll keep you guys in the loop about that.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. All right. So yeah. Actually, you know what? I had a virtual doctor's appointment like 4 days ago. That's why it's so fresh in my mind. That's that. Yeah. Why? And here's the thing, and to your point, one, there's so many people that just can't see it yet, and frankly don't want to, and that's okay, right? Like, if that human connection is your thing, it's going to take another 15 years before they're so good that they can mimic that, and you won't care by then. It's just not going to matter.
Maybe then is when I would really care, because I would need a lot of healthcare at that point.
Right, there you go. Yeah, your doctor just lives with you.
Yeah, I think it will go through the back door, to be honest. Like with all the new Apple AI devices and stuff like this. I think a good comparison is many physicians absolutely despise people that come up with, oh yeah, I read about this and this and this disease, and yeah, I certainly have this. And it's I can understand that this, for example, is super annoying. But on the other hand, I wonder how many lives it already have saved because people figured out their own diagnosis because it was
Yeah.
maybe an edge case, and I think we are starting to see this with AI and with all the data, the new devices basically compile. I think we can really ramp this up, and people who are into that will use it and will be some kind of the early adopters, and we will have more of a subtle movement that it's more and more requested, and so it will be emerging. I think not okay. We will replace human interactions or physicians for that matter.
Yeah, I think there's
Yeah.
definitely some. I mean, this is not so much an AI thing, but even just a data thing. And of course, this creates a big data lake that AI can consume later on. But just the number of people that are wearing wearables. So we're getting not like perfect, but decent blood pressure data, decent heart rate data, and even blood sugar data that is far more robust. Right, it's being tested far more to the point where in a couple apps. There's like warnings in them now, like that it's not going to be perfect, but every once in a while we're going to tell you to fucking call your doctor right now, right? Because like it's recognizing something that would be a red flag if you were in the hospital, right? And can kind of get in front of these things, and eventually that's like our personal AI agents are just going to be plugged into all that stuff, and you won't have to call your doctor because it'll do it for you. Unless it's one and he wants to actually pick up the phone and dial his rotary telephone and then just wait for it to go. You guys don't even know what rotary telephones are. It's really fucking old and hilarious. And then talk to his actual doctor, only he's pissed off because it's not his doctor. It's his doctor's AI agent. Then he's like throwing his fist at the sky.
That's the worst thing ever when you dial a number and you get a freaking machine.
I agree.
A stupid machine. That's the worst
stupid,
thing
right?
ever.
It's like you talk to the even the basic open AI, conversational AI is quite good, and it's about to get way better. And then I go to Grok.
I agree with that one. Yeah.
I go to Grok, and I'm asking about their, I think it was like some comments thing or whatever, and it was literally the fucking dummy tree of one of those like phone things, right? Like press 1 if it's a fucking comment problem, press 2. Like this isn't AI, you're stupid. Like I got physically angry. Like you guys have one of the best AIs in the world with Grok, and you haven't even plugged it into your fucking support yet. Like what's fucking wrong with you? It was just
that's and you always have the feeling that people mock you because you're basically
if I could solve it, Elon Musk should have solved it last year, right? Because I'm an idiot.
I think that's exactly what you're wrong, Corey. I think that it's not ready for that, and that's why it's not there. Do you really think they wouldn't do it? Do you really think they want to piss people off? Do you really think they want to look stupid?
Yeah,
do I think Elon Musk is capable of fucking himself with Twitter? Yes, I do.
Yeah, that's
100%. Very good at rockets. Very shitty at social media. We can have a
completely different discussion about that. I think that the first thing that should happen with Elon Musk is that when you sign in for Twitter, you should not get follow Elon Musk. Come on. When you do that, man, that's the most, I don't know how to call that, egotistic, egocentristic, ego, whatever. I don't know what's the right word to describe that, but come on, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
The algorithm should not include you. Yeah, that's it.
You would imagine. Well, and they said they were going to publicize or publish the algorithm, and they're not doing that now. Whatever. You're right. That's a whole other discussion. It's a whole other conversation. Oh man. Anyway, but I think it probably speaks to they have some reason why they haven't done it, whether it's incompetence or some legal thing that I'm not aware of. Fine, right? That's always possible, right?
I think that's the point.
That speaks to something that while I'm thinking about the possibility, Dennis says this too, like that seeing it roll out into the actual marketplace it's gonna be slowed down by our monkey bullshit, right? And in some ways, it'll be really a good thing that it got slowed down because of some of our monkey bullshit, right? Like we've been through some of this stuff with technology before, so things like doctor's liability and sort of other situations, like people get in trouble if they make a mistake that's very profound, right? So if an AI is going to make that mistake, whoever owns that thing is going to be responsible for it, like, and that's how it should be. And so, we'll see, like, it has to not only get good, but then prove itself over and over and over again to get to the point where it's so much better than humans that it costs less to just give it to that than humans that have a failure rate. And that'll take time.
And I fully see it, and you might call it our monkey brain or however you want to call it, but I think that there's a reason for everything. I think that there are many networks that even if they are extremely robust, they are not robust enough for some edge cases. For example, we were talking about self-driving vehicles last time, and we both agree that the worst self-driving car, it's a better driver than 99% of human beings.
Yep.
But what happens when, for example, that car loses connectivity with satellites? What happens if we have 5,000 self-driving cars in the same area losing that connectivity and not being able to process what they need to process in order to drive safely? So I think that kind of things are the ones that really have to be considered, and
I think even this
slow down these kind of processes.
Right. I mean, I expected self-driving cars to be far more into the marketplace than they already are, to your point. Yes. And I have a suspicion like it should be technologically feasible to buy a Tesla and rent it out as an Uber without a driver, right? I think technologically it's sort of like that's plausible. They have not done that yet. And I think it's because of some of the stuff that you bring up. It's like the liability, who's liable for that, right? And is the company going to be liable for that? And so like I think there's a lot of regulatory things that are kind of stopping them from doing that. And again, like I think it's kind of a shame, right? I mean, yes, there's edge cases that are going to befuddle an AI, but it's already safer than the average human, right? So like if you're in an AI car that's driving by itself, your chances of getting in an accident are far less than if you or somebody else is driving. That's a fact, right? So the fact that we're slowing these things down now means that it's not learning those edge cases. And again, like edge cases suck, right? If you have 10 AI car accidents, if there's going to be 10, car accidents in Tampa today, right? From, monkey drivers. But if there was 10, AI car accidents in the country in a day, the world would go fucking mental, right? People would lose their goddamn minds because, the robots are coming to kill us. I mean, that perception thing is slowing things down too.
Without going as far as a self-driving car, I had 2 cases with 2 different cars, my previous car and my current car. They have these pedestrian detection systems and stuff.
Yeah.
And it breaks whenever it wants.
Maybe
I get too close to pedestrians, but sometimes but
it's not my
freaking
fault.
breaks when I don't want to brake.
Fair enough.
But sometimes it has really saved me from an accident.
I mean, so this is the thing. So on one side, it has annoyed you. On the other side, it's avoided accidents.
No, but for that one time, it avoided an accident.
Yeah.
It was braking like extremely braking 10,000 times. And that could have caused another accident if I had a car very close to me. It's I don't know. It's fun. At least it's at least
interesting.
Fun. And it pisses me off every time it breaks for me. So
I think that actually very kind of secretly sums up the entire conversation we've had. Saved my life that one time, but fuck, it breaks for me sometimes. Fuck that AI in the face.
Fuck that AI. Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome. All right, well, it's crazy driving in Europe, especially in Spain. I have no experience with that at all. I've never done it. Wait, that's not true. We rented a car in Italy once, but very little, very little.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think Germany is the worst place in the world to drive.
Is it really? Was that like the Autobahn? You still have like no speed limit on it, or they?
When you're driving 200 kilometers per hour and you see there's a freaking car who wants to pass you, it's like, what the fuck, man? I'm already 200 and you want to go faster?
Yeah, it's definitely less stressful to be on a highway that has 130 kilometers fixed.
Yes.
Then this whole kind of get out of my way. I need to ride here with 300 kilometers per hour,
Yeah.
maybe. But
Yeah.
in general, but I'm not that used to it anymore because now I mainly drive in Cyprus, and that's another thing.
That's a different, completely different setup there.
Completely, yeah.
Yeah.
So is it just like really sort of chill, or what's it like driving in Cyprus? I've never been there. I really don't know anything about it.
It's on the wrong side for the first,
They
but
drive
you
on
get used to it.
they have the wheel on the right side of the car?
Yeah, they have the English system, yeah.
Oh man.
But
Fucking English.
it's always funny in the first moments because you inevitably end up on the wrong side sometimes if you are just getting used to it. That's the reason because all tourists or rental cars have idiot license plates that are in another color. so everyone knows
Like
that you are
this person
getting there.
might try and like head run you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's smart. That's smart.
Yeah, but it's more relaxed, definitely, and sometimes more Wild West. Yeah, as you can imagine, in Southern Europe versus Germany, it's two extremes, I guess.
So,
Yeah.
Dennis, I want to ask two questions before we break. So the first one is there any AI tool that has come out or is going to be coming out soon that you're really excited to like actually bring into your workflow?
To bring in my workflow, I would say, to me it's ChatGPT 5 when it is upcoming because for me it's about the iteration, and I use these tools a lot in my automations and other processes. So this will be a massive upgrade, likely, at least. And it will be really interesting what it can do. So I'm really looking forward to the next version.
Yeah, I'm getting pretty excited about that too. Just because it's supposed to. Sorry, Juan, go ahead.
Well, one question there. Have you tried Gemini?
Gemini, not
Because
yet.
right now Google has been pushing it a lot, and I get the thing like, try Gemini, use Gemini, everything. It's there, but I haven't tested it yet.
I've
I
used
use
it.
Cloud a lot and ChatGPT, and want to try Meta and Grok, but Gemini. Yeah, maybe they caught up. They have been a little bit behind for a while, but it's always worth testing, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't used it a ton, but I would say Gemini is a lot like 3.5 ChatGPT right now. It might be
Okay,
a
so
little
it's
bit
a
better.
little bit behind.
Yeah. And again, like I haven't tested it in the last
really
couple months.
funny if you think about that. Google basically innovated hard on all this kind of edge cases, and then completely dropped the ball.
Right? Like the transformer that's the T in GPT was invented at Google. Right? And now they're like, well, we'll try and keep up to Llama, which is Facebook's open source thing.
No, I think that you don't have to see it like that. Because just think about this. For example, OpenAI had a greenfield. They could go and just do this, use this tool.
Yeah.
Google is doing something that is way more complex. They are trying to integrate Gemini into all of their existing tools. So they cannot be so aggressive. They cannot experiment like, just release this, just release this. They have to make sure that it works in a coherent way with all the tools that they have.
Yeah.
So that's why they are going slower, and it feels like they are behind. I'm pretty sure they are not behind. It's just that they cannot roll out new functionality as fast as someone who has nothing to lose and whose tools are just okay, try this because it does exactly this, and it doesn't have to integrate with any other tools that they already have in production with millions and millions of users.
Right. they're not a startup anymore, and that
exactly
definitely
that's the point. Yeah.
That's like even
Also,
IBM has done so much work with AI. We've had tons of conversations with them or whatever, and they're doing some enterprise level stuff. But honestly, most of it's around like AI security. When they've done really good work on AI, they were literally behind on transformers because they hadn't done any of the processing to make their own models. And to the best of my knowledge, Google hadn't either, right? Because it's very, very expensive. But then again, like they've got profit margins, they would have to have whole conversations with their shareholders as to why they're suddenly going to spend $10 billion on something that might be something, right? Like that's like that would be a very challenging conversation to have.
and I think the main thing because why Google could not have been the front runner is basically investors because it's hard to explain why you kill your business model basically and make a case study out of why Google is not the best tool anymore to find what you need.
Right.
This is kind of a conflict of interest basically.
Yeah. Man, if you'd have told me 2 years ago that there might be something that could come and actually kill Google search, I would have laughed at you. And now, I mean, I think it's almost inevitable.
Hate it. I use this still for some cases, but otherwise, I have Google mostly in my mind for not finding what I want to find because I type something in and get totally irrelevant answers mostly, and I think it got worse and worse because they do all this kind of keyword infusion in the back end to basically combine it with paid keywords when it comes to paid search. And, that makes the search shit, to be honest. Excuse my language.
That's all right.
Yeah. No, but that's true. That's true.
So you kind of answered my other question. What tool have you been using the most recently? Would that be ChatGPT, or is there anything that's sort of outside the norm that you've been using?
I use the full ecosystem basically. So for me, it is mostly about interfaces. So I use make.com a lot because it's really easy to automate complex things. I use something like these soft automation hubs like Airtable. So it's a lot of MVPing for me and to connect all these kinds of tools. And I think in the end, these kind of applications will be more likely to be AI ready when it comes to what normal mortal persons can build because you are most flexible and all these tools also get updates and for you it's mostly the community and the data refinement to give whatever model is behind it or whatever auxiliary tool something to work with and some unique structure you came up with. And I think that's the secret sauce when it comes to many sustainable products because most of us are not able to build something like new generative image AI by themselves.
Well, and so we've like the some of the automation stuff that I started messing around with. I actually played with Make. I just wanted to see if I could do it myself, and I did. But you bring up a really good point, right? Like the second that Facebook updates anything, Make's just going to handle all that stuff in the guts, right? Whereas I'll have to probably rewrite everything that I did. So it's definitely a really powerful tool that I probably don't use enough.
It's about iterations often, and not what is the absolute best in my view. Often you start building something because you think it's easy, and then it becomes hard, and then it becomes a lot of work that goes into a specific solution. And then it's outdated in the current environment. And so 80% is okay. And then we can iterate basically and do not need to reinvent the wheel. And I think that's really important to not become obsolete, at least at the moment acceleration curve.
Makes sense. Yeah, there's a bit of an acceleration curve. just a whole thing. Anyway, so yeah, we're coming up at about 75 minutes. It's actually like 74. Look at us. All the AI shows go the distance. Just want to put that out there.
Yeah.
It's mostly just because I'm asinitely fascinated. And Juan, you know, fucking pulls the reins in every once in a while. And most of the time he's right. Anyway, so Juan, is there anything that you wanted to? Oh, by the way, so for tomorrow, we got Russell from Asborius coming on tomorrow.
Yes.
And I'm hoping, fairly confident that we're going to actually be able to launch the first real season of Flip Tribes on Friday. So we'll do that. Yeah. Oh, and
but you know, it's not that I don't care about that, because I'm very excited to have Russell here tomorrow. I'm very excited that you're launching Flip Tribes on Friday, but I'm more excited because the Launchback Stapper, it's almost ready. People testing it, and we are fixing some of the feedback we are getting, and I'm very excited because of that. So the the Launchback Stapper, it's coming.
yes.
And also, I also know that we are very close to have limit orders on Wax on Edge, and
Oh, crazy.
yes, so that's very good. Limit orders with network liquidity and so on. So it's really cool. That will be very cool. And yeah, remember that when you do NFTs, you do them on Nifty blocks, and when you trade a token, you do it on Wax on Edge. And if you want to launch a meme coin, because you want to launch a meme coin, I know deep inside you want to do it, you come to Launchbacks.
There it is. Boom. The frickin' the whole run. Yeah. So have a few people helping us finish off the testing. The early access stuff is still, you know, the people that filled out that form. You guys are going to get access to the link first and all at the same time. So we're still doing that, but we wanted to keep the testing sort of just limited. We wanted to have a few people just so we can kind of work and get all that stuff done.
Yeah, we realized we're not capable of handling the feedback of 3 people at the same time, let alone 50 at the same time. So we're trying to keep it small so that we can manage this in a better way.
That's exactly it. And huge thanks to TC Red and Tuttle for helping us test. And yeah, so yeah, the Tapper is extremely nice. Tapper's going to be awesome. Those 2 dudes have seen it. And so yeah, you don't have to take our word for it that it's going to be pretty fucking good. The first,
yeah, and remember, unlike any other tapper out there, here you will get rewards every 2 weeks, and there will still be the bags airdrop at the end, or I don't know if the end, but after a few seasons.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, short-term stuff, long-term stuff. There's always going to be something to do, and I think that's going to be that's going to make a huge difference. And mostly, you know, I'm just going to be watching Red pull away on the leaderboard, which is going to be a fucking pain in the ass. But he's good at this shit. This is what it is.
Yeah, yeah, but I don't know. You know, I'm not really into mechanical tappers. But can you adjust the tapping speed in those things?
You can.
Okay, cool. Then he will be able to simulate.
I don't know that Red uses a tapper. I know TC does. I have one. I have one, and I don't use it, which I you know, I like on some of them. I probably should, but yeah. So yeah, no, you can adjust all that stuff. So that's fun. And again, like the I think I don't think it was the tapper. Tap Monster just had a situation where they I think they might have been getting spammed on one of their APIs or something like that, because they ended up just having it actually started slowing down. It actually stopped working for a while. They were having a ton of trouble. So I'm not sure exactly what the issue was. But even, you know, if it was too many people having it open at the same time, there you go, Red, no tapper there. Yeah, I don't know what it was, but they made some changes. So, and that's I don't think we're gonna have that issue.
I hope not.
Oh, okay. Apparently, Tap Monsters banned blockchain as fuck for using the tapper. Oops,
we won't ban you. You can with us. You can use it. We will only ignore your the points that you make above the the fastest human.
Like I'm not sure that isn't still wrecking our leaderboard. So I'm not sure we should say that just yet.
No. It's that one. I think it's solved, but But besides the problem that you had there, it's that's the way we handle it.
Okay. All right. Well, so yeah, that should be.
It's always checking that the number is reasonable for a human to do.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. We might want to check that because I was having the same issue. So like, what a reasonable human can do with 4 fingers if they can vibrate their hand because they're used to playing guitar.
That one was a different
before. Okay.
A different issue, the one you were having.
Yeah, so, we're gonna figure
out.
That's
why we're testing. That's why
probably
we're
don't have to talk. Yeah. We'll figure that out. The keys don't run out of energy. That's always the key. Don't run out of energy. And why I had to do some changes on that function. So yeah. We again. Right. Yeah. I have an extra pinky. Shit. Or just get one of those hot dog drills. That shit was funny. Anyways. Yeah. So Manas, what's going on? All right, Dennis, thank you so much for
at the end, man.
for coming on. And giving us the heads up on all that stuff. Again, the new blend page for AIGOD. There's tons more stuff there. You definitely want to be in their Discord. You definitely want to get confirmed in their Discord because that's going to give you access to a lot of these blends. There's a bunch of shit going on. Flip Tribe's very likely going to start its first season on Friday with AIGOD, and yeah. Tapping with no energy equals a ban. Oh, that makes sense. So if you're basically that checks out. So if you're running it constantly and you don't have any energy, you get banned. Yeah, that was never a good idea. Sweet. Yeah, I was in one of the Ton sessions. We'll catch up. Yeah, Matt, you should come over. Like, I'd love to hear about the Nest thing that you got in on with Ton. That's really cool. 1,500 new tappers today. All right. Apparently being on that's a significant percentage of growth for you guys right there. That's awesome. Can't wait to hear all about it.
No, that's the number of new tappers.
Yeah.
Or is that the number of new users?
It's probably the same thing.
Okay, if that's good, that's good.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how many they had before, but it wasn't yeah, so it's
new users.
That's a significant percentage.
I thought new tapper games on Ton. So no,
that makes that's understandable. Yeah. All right, well, cool. Mas, hit us up. Let's maybe have you on next week and we can talk about Crypto Alpha again because I love getting updates about that stuff. And yeah, anything we can learn about the Ton community is awesome. So yeah, there you go. 50% increase in a day is pretty good. That's freaking awesome, man.
Yeah.
Cool beans, bro. Heems. All right, guys. Have a good one. We'll see you tomorrow. And yeah, let's do this thing. Let's get weird.
All right.
No, Dennis, behave.
Yeah, Dennis,
come on.
We need you to do it with us, or I can't do the thing. We need the thumb. Thank you.
Yes.